You've heard it your entire life, that humans only use 10% of their brain. A comforting lie, because if the mind is limited by nature, no one has to ask who imposed the limits. Welcome to Mysterious Encounters. This file isn't about what the brain can do. It's about why you were taught to believe it can't. Modern neuroscience confirms something unsettling. We use all of our brain. Every region is active. Every area has a function. So why does the 10% myth exist? Because myths don't survive by accident. They survive because they are useful. The myth didn't come from science. It came from misquoted early psychology, pop culture, and institutions that repeated it until it felt true. A population that believes its mind is mostly unused is a population trained to feel incomplete. The brain isn't underused, it's overconditioned. The real limitation isn't capacity, it's access. Attention is fragmented, thought is interrupted, curiosity is redirected. Silence is eliminated. A distracted brain is a predictable brain. Neuroplasticity means your brain rewires itself based on repetition, environment, emotion, and stress. So if you flood the mind with fear, urgency, and noise, you don't need chains. Control doesn't require stupidity. It requires cognitive overload. Modern systems don't suppress intelligence. They weaponize it against itself. Endless notifications, algorithmic outrage, dopamine loops, artificial urgency. Your brain is always working, just rarely on what you choose. The myth of unused brain power becomes a psychological trap. You retold your mind is weak, incomplete, unfinished, so you look outward for authority. The real question then is not biological, but social. If we possess this immense capacity, why does our world feel so cognitively constrained? The answer is a form of invisible architecture. First, attention is not taught as a skill. It is treated as a resource to be harvested. You are not trained to focus. You are trained to react. Second, stillness, the fertile ground for introspection, is actively discouraged. It is branded as boredom, inefficiency, a void to be filled with endless content, because a mind that sits in silence begins to hear its own voice, and that voice may not agree with the broadcast. Third, independent pattern recognition is subtly punished. Connect the dots in a way that challenges an official narrative, and you are not debated. You are labeled. The goal is not to win the argument, but to prevent it from ever being heard. The most controlled mind, therefore, is not the least intelligent. It is the most perpetually stimulated, the one that never slows down long enough to see the cage. So you do not need more brain power. You need to reclaim the power you have. The 10% lie was never about biology. It was about permission. It was a story designed to make you wait for an external key to unlock the other 90%. But there is no key. There is only the decision to turn off the noise and grant yourself permission to think. Permission to be still. Permission to trust your own conclusions. The mind isn't asleep. It's occupied territory. And the final act of rebellion is not to fight the occupation, but to peacefully, methodically evict it. To reclaim the quiet, focused, boundless space that was yours all along.